video, we're going to go a little further on the disqualification of Judge Mellor and the Copa v. Wright, and also talk about the filing deadlines coming up tomorrow for Dr. Wright, what potentially could be happening in the background, and then also the big news about the, Roger Ver being on Tucker Carlson, man. Just massive for the big block Bitcoin. So check this out. So tomorrow is Dr. Wright's deadline regarding filing into the case to challenge the contempt hearing. Now, we know that he's going to be ordered to appear in person on the 18th and potentially facing arrest. The judge said he wasn't going to be facing arrest, but, it's always a concern. Maybe he will. And so that's a concern. Now, he could be filing in some sort of a motion tomorrow, like a declaration, a challenge to the judge. As we've talked about yesterday in the video, there is just an absolute now surmounting amount of admissions from Judge Mellor about his lack of notice to the parties about his prior meetings with Mr. Pierce and discussions about Bitcoin. And that's now come out in his judgment. So he's now admitted this stuff, and he's like doing this soft disclosure now in his approved judgment. It's way too late for that. That should have been done at trial and given the parties an opportunity to disclose it. And what happened was he actually at the contempt scheduling hearing, he said that he never spoke about Bitcoin with Mr. Pierce. Then apparently he watched some videos, apparently some of my videos, maybe another person's videos, and he says, "Oh yeah, I did talk about Bitcoin, and we talked about that and back, and yeah, we did, and I did go to that Copa event. Apparently, it was a Copa event, one of the parties. So now he's gone through and explained all this in 4 pages in the approved judgment to try to make it somehow make some sense of it, and." That's just a sloppy mess. It's a little bit painful to think that it's going to be a potential mistrial in this case, but it is what it is. I'm sorry that to the BTC holders and the hodlers that are like I said, I congratulate all you guys to get to $100,000, and but at the end of the day, if Judge Mellor is completely shown to be biased as this has been come out in his own admissions, and talking to David Pierce, the attorney for, the attorney, and talking about this case. And so talking about Bitcoin and they're rubbing elbows at this event. They're talking about Adam back. And then, hey, it's a Copa event. It's just having a really good time. There they are taking a photo outside of the event. I thought that was really compelling. They got themselves taking that photo outside of the event was huge. And for those who haven't seen it, it was on the petition. The petition was taken off the internet, mind you, because it was probably so compelling. As there's the judge and the attorney outside, rubbing elbows and all that. They weren't doing this, but it's just kind of funny. It's this funny picture of them outside the event, having a good laugh. And there's Tufty the cat. He's kind of looking over at Judge Mellor like, hey, how about that Craig Wright? He's not Satoshi, right? Everybody else, something like that. I can just see the words coming out of his mouth. So many great memes that can come out of that. So anyways, that's coming up tomorrow. And, on Craig Wright's defense, he ultimately could say that, look, Tufty hates me. David Pierce absolutely hates me. The guy just despises me, wants nothing to do with me. And he thinks I'm a fraud. He thinks all these things. And so here he is at the event kind of telling Judge Mellor, hey, Craig Wright, I sure hate that guy. It's really a very admitted biased party that is there lobbying on behalf of Copa at multiple, it's going all the way back to 2023. All right, so now whether or not it's not the matter of it wasn't a big deal. They didn't talk that much about things. They only talked about Bitcoin a little bit. They only talked about the 24 seed weird phrase. They only talked about Pat's. Dude, Judge Mellor, he had a duty to let the parties know at trial. He saw Tufty the cat in the courtroom taking his notes right there with HODLNOT, There he is. Hey, Mr. Pierce, how you doing? Oh, by the way, I know Mr. Pierce, we're old buddies from the patent events. We go to the Copa events together, and we have drinks, and we talk about Bitcoin. Great, just let the guys know in the court. And Judge Mellor didn't do that. It's too late to kind of cover up now and say, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's just a mess, a huge mess. So if Craig Wright does a proper challenge, this bad boy I think Judge Mellor is going to be responding, and I don't think there'll even be a contempt hearing. They're going to have the challenge heard on the disqualification of Mellor. So, dude, it's freaking really exciting. Satoshi Nakamoto could be made to see another day on this court case, all right? So he may not be dead after all. I know we thought, he's dead, it's over, Craig killed him, but it may not be over. So I'm just excited about what's about to happen in this case. Now, also, regarding, the possible prediction that the contempt hearing doesn't happen on the 18th. For all the guys who are going, Scott probably trying to go. I still presume that, I don't know. Actually, there's a possibility there'll be no contempt hearing on the grounds that if Craig, if he files a disqualification motion, which I don't even know how we're going to know if he files one or not, right? So if he files that, then that's going to have to be, Mellor's going to be responding to it, and then it's going to get kicked to another judge if they follow the procedures. So he could go to the hearing. I mean, I think they're probably still going to have the hearing regardless, and then Craig will be there, and they might continue the hearing to another day. Say, Mellor's disqualified, he can't hear this case right now, or he's being challenged, and then they might, continue the case. So, I mean, I guess for Scott, Riley, Silas, and those guys, or Rui, who any of the people who may be going into the hearing who are local there, I would say still go, because it's likely that Dr. Wright's going to be going to the event, to the hearing. Now, maybe he'll hire an attorney law firm and have an attorney go for him. We don't know. I mean, all this is speculation. I mean, what his options are. He could potentially do that. He could potentially show up, have an attorney go in his place, because they wanted to have, that's just a possibility. I don't know if he's going to do that. I don't know if it's proper within the court order, but, we'll see. Because right now they're saying he's going to show up. So also, now let's just talk about this massive news about Roger Ver. Now, Roger Ver was indicted for tax fraud. Now he's been on tax evasion, but now he's been on Tucker Carlson today. 1 million views already after just a few hours. Boom. I mean, and he flat out says to everybody, Bitcoin's been hijacked. BTC is not Bitcoin. He basically says that it's completely been hijacked, and Michael Saylor has no idea what he's talking about. It's basically what he's saying in this video. It's like that, and he's been saying this the whole time. Now, there's a lot of things people don't disagree with Roger Ver, and I'm with you on that. Okay, I get it. And Roger Ver's done some bad things, but he's on trial for tax evasion and not being a U.S. citizen as a non-resident alien. That's a BS charge, if you don't mind me. Now, it's improper for people. 1 second here. Let me finish this. Yeah, we can't hold guilt for a charge for something that's not being brought in the complaint. They're trying to get it for tax evasion. That doesn't mean that he's guilty of gun running or whatever people are worried about, or there's all sorts of allegations of other crimes that maybe he's done, dude. Those are not before the court, so it's not proper to say, oh, good, he's going to pay for that other crime in this one. Dude, let's get over those. Let's get over that Al Capone vigilante justice mentality. I mean, if there's a crime somebody's committed, they should be brought before the court, heard due process, and have a chance to answer. It's not you pay for a crime that you haven't committed by doing it as tax crime. That's BS. He didn't do a tax crime. He wasn't a U.S. citizen. He's a non-resident alien. That's setting dangerous precedent. If you're living over there in Australia, in the UK, one of these other countries, well, guess what? The U.S. might be coming to break down your door with all these IRS agents at any time now because you didn't pay your U.S. taxes. Oh, I'm not a U.S. citizen. Oh, that's what Roger Ver's facing. I'm a non-resident alien. Yeah, same thing. That's what's going on right now. So you don't want to have these BS charges going for a non-resident alien. But he is on Tucker, and that's a big deal. He talked about big block Bitcoin. He talked about scaling Bitcoin and how BTC doesn't work anymore. It's just not peer-to-peer cash. And how hats off to Tucker, man. He really seems like it's hard to say. Is he bought and paid for? Is he part of the establishment? Is Tucker just a guy talking on a screen like a lot of these speakers at big mainstream? I don't know. It's hard to say, because he was asking very, very good questions about Bitcoin, and he was listening. He's like, I'd never heard anyone talk about this BTC Bitcoin being not peer-to-peer cash anymore. He's like, this is the first time I've ever heard it. He was very curious about what Roger was saying. He's like, I can see why they want to lock you up. You're very good at explaining all this, so. Tucker, I got a hats off to him. He's getting out. A lot of people are hearing about hijacking Bitcoin and how this Bitcoin that we're all hearing about it has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It's just it's a rock. It doesn't do anything. It's got the name. It's passing off. That's the whole ground to this second complaint, which will be the world-shattering, earth-shattering complaint if it could be brought properly and it gets past motion to dismiss. It's all on hold until this contempt stuff is over. Then they'll be able to continue on with that. So, yeah, that's my video, man. My cake. Hit the ones. hit the comments. I'll read them all. Share this, and I'll see you at the top. Later.